Ho, ho, and another ho. Welcome to my guests, all hoes. And we are doing our top 10 favorite top 10 Christmas films. Um, Cheetah, have you done your movies or do you want me to start with somebody else?
I can. No, I got my movies now, so I can.
All right, we'll start with you.
All right. And these again are in no particular order. Although I can definitely pick out my number one. Um, okay, so the first one though that popped in my mind was what Vizaxon was saying earlier, Gremlins. It was for a little kid like me. It was a terrifying film, but it was just so funny and just so it just left an impact. Number two that came to mind was, of course, Die Hard. So that is definitely my number one Christmas movie. Me and the kids, since they were babes, we sat down and watched that every single. No, I'm kidding. um, the my next one is the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. The first one. We're not talking about the sequels or the TV shows or whatever garbage they've had come out. The first one. The first one was actually really good and charming, and it took itself seriously. And it wasn't Disney-fied. So I really appreciate Fox when they
Yeah, it was Fox. Yeah.
yeah, that originally was Fox, and then Disney bought it. And two wasn't bad, but well, two wasn't horrible, but it wasn't exactly great either. Anyway,
Yeah.
next one is Home Alone. So Kevin McAllister, of course. Home Alone is it is one of those staple Christmas movies you always think of when you go for I almost said Halloween, for the holidays. Next is Muppet Christmas Carol. We all know the Muppet Christmas Carol. I love the Muppet Christmas Carol. After that, and I can't remember if you guys agreed with me. I remember Santa Claus: A Christmas Story. It's the one with Dudley Moore. I honestly have not watched this movie in years. I just remember loving it as a kid. And honestly, if I watched it today, maybe I'd have a different opinion on it. But sometimes you just don't need to go back to it. You just keep those
No, it's still
memories.
good.
Yeah.
It's still
Okay.
good.
So I really like that movie. I think it actually the Santa Claus with Tim Allen paid a lot of homage to that movie. Like
Yeah.
just in different ways. But that's why I like those two movies so much. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation one, it's just a classic. I'm not big into claymation. I actually don't like stop motion as much, but this one, it was kind of a fun adventure, and it was a little bit different than other Christmas stories and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that was good. Batman Returns, love that. That's a great Christmas movie right there.
Damn.
Mickey's Christmas Carol. So this one it was a bit dark for Disney, because if you think about it, I'm not even talking about the ghosts and stuff, just like Scrooge, like even Scrooge McDuck in that movie was just very callous and very mean. And just like for Disney at the time, what was that, 85, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was so for me. This was Disney at its best was in the 80s because it wasn't afraid to go dark with its tone. It was
Mm-hmm.
before it completely pussified itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very dark. Like I remember with the ghosts and death and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I love them up at Christmas Carol, but for animation, I'm like Mickey's Christmas Carol all the way. So I know that's two Christmas carols, but they're starkly different in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're just so. And the last one on my list is, of course, the Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, Jingle All the Way. Ah, gotta get the Turbo Man.
yeah. Put the cookie down. Excellent. That's a fantastic list. I'm sure we're going to get quite a bit of crossover as well. Santa Claus.
Okay, so the Dudley Moore one, that's Santa Claus the movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's my number 10. So actually, I apologize. That's my number 11. I've done a top 11, but I had to put that in there because it is the fundamental Christmas movie of that particular generation, and so I feel like that has to be there. So that's my number 11. And number 10. Now you, Gary, you put this as a TV show. I put this as a movie, and this is the Snowman. And I think I know you already briefly mentioned this,
It
but
doesn't
this
matter.
film,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't have to be
I
too
find it.
sticky.
I just think like the just a couple of things I want to bring up is the Alec Johns "Walking in the Air," such a great song. It's still to this day, but it's so hard to watch because I know when the ending comes, it's one of the most saddest endings you can get for a Christmas film. You know, like all Christmas stuff is so happy and joyous and feel good factor, and everything's gonna be okay. But not this one. This one had the reverse, and still thinking about it now. Oh God, it makes me want to cry. Number nine, I have Die Hard 2. You know, I think it's very underrated. Die Hard 2. I like it very much, and it's set in Christmas. And then we have Tim Allen's The Santa Claus, as Hito mentioned. And regarding the Christmas Carol movies, my version of Christmas Carol is Scrooge with Bill Murray. I do like that film very much. I have it has a place in my heart. I like it. I like how what you know how this man he turned his life around and he saw the errors of his ways. I wish more people. I wish this Christmas every fucking billionaire had a bloody ghost visit them and tell them to fucking change their shit. And number six, I have Lethal Weapon. This is like one of the earliest buddy cop films of that particular generation, and it started a long series of movies. It's a great film, and it happens to be set in Christmas. At number five, we have Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters,
Oh, I hate that film so much.
Ghostbusters 2,
I
like
like it.
it's just, I like it, but I always feel like the courtroom scene should have been the very beginning of the movie. If they began the film there, and then
Yeah,
obviously continued from then onwards, it would have been a lot better of a movie. And for fuck's sake, they should have had Winston Zedmore fighting the ghost in that fucking scene too. They love to extract him for some fucking reason. It pisses me off. At number four, we have Die Hard 1. Goes without saying. Number three is Gremlins. My God, like you mentioned the 80s. They will never bring back that level of PG horror like it was in the 80s, where it was scary as fuck, gruesome as fuck, and all manners of people could watch it. Steven Spielberg back then was the fucking best.
it's not his
At
film; it
number
was just his production company.
no, yeah, but he produced it. I never said he directed it.
Yeah,
Because he was involved in so many things which are, a bit, like I wouldn't say necessarily R-rated, but like all members of the family could watch it and you can appreciate it. And they had some moments where you think, "Oh shit, okay, shit, son, you shouldn't be seeing this," but he let you see it anyway.
yeah.
And number two, we have, in my opinion, the best family Christmas movie of all time, and that's Home Alone. I don't think this film gets enough credit for how seriously good it is. It's so much more than just a bunch of fucking burglars getting fucked over. There's so many layers to this film. It is fucking brilliant. I love it very much. And finally, at number one, in my opinion, one of the greatest comedies of all time, Trading Places. This film is so good. Like, it's so good. Hats off. My hat is off to the late Devon Elliott, to Jamie Lee Curtis, to Dan Aykroyd, to Eddie Murphy, the guys who played the Duke brothers. There's so many great characters, great roles. What an amazing comedy! So funny. It has visual gags. It has comical gags. Satire, everything. Very, very funny, and a great ending too. It wasn't all set in Christmas, but it had enough Christmas in it to be a Christmas movie, especially with Dan Aykroyd dressed up like he was Tururi, eating that salmon and trying to kill himself and having a dog piss on him. Very good. And there's nothing better than being saved by a working girl at night. Yes, very good. That's my top
That's
10.
a
11.
fantastic list. Again, there's going to be a lot of crossover in these fantastic lists, Santa. Well done, Gary.
Okay, well, so set 10 for me. Sorry, my voice is going all weird. Nightmare Before Christmas, number 10.
Mm.
I like that. Number 9, Muppet Christmas Carol. I thought is easily the best of them. Number 8, I want one because this is a favorite with my family. The Christmas Chronicles.
Number 8 was what?
The Christmas Chronicles.
The Christmas Chronicles.
Yes.
Oh, bit of a description. Never heard of that.
So it's on Netflix. So basically, Kurt Russell plays Father Christmas, Santa, whatever you call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he has elves and stuff like that. His bag and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
my family likes that, so I like it.
All right.
Number 7, the film that nobody's mentioned so far, Christmas Vacation. I love that film.
That is actually on my list.
No,
Yeah, I don't like that film, but yeah, fair enough.
All right.
Fair
Number
enough.
5, Home Alone, the original.
Hmm.
Number 6.
Four.
Sorry.
right.
Number 5 is Gremlins.
Yep.
Number 4 is Die Hard. Love that film. Number 3, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I prefer that to the original.
Number
because,
3. What the fuck?
I'll explain why.
I'm going to leave.
Because like there's a lot more heart to it because he befriends that lady with the pigeons and stuff like that, and he gives her the dove and stuff like that. And
Gary, this is your list. You don't have to explain yourself.
Okay,
He's
number
not
2.
different to the fucking scary man in the first movie. They repeated the same shit. That's all I'm saying.
Number 2, I filmed that favorite of my family again. Polar Express. I love that film. It's
Okay.
just
Okay.
it's a heartwarming. And number 1, where it'll be forever. It's a Wonderful Life. Just amazing.
Of course. Yeah. That's I'm not surprised that it's your number 1. It's a great
Okay.
film, by the way. It's a great film.
Solid film. Excellent. Lovely list, Gary. Couple of surprises in there as well, but awesome. Leah.
All right. This might have actually supposed to have been on the television one, but believe it or not, the BoJack Horseman Christmas special. I did like the Polar Express movie. That is on my list, but I by far love the book more. The Mickey's Christmas Carol. So everybody probably saw me nodding there. I've already covered my top favorite Christmas movie on accident. That was Gremlins. Christmas Vacation, because I'm sorry, I just love Christmas movies where everything that could go wrong does go wrong. The Muppet Christmas Carol is my second favorite Christmas movie, like absolutely. Because Jim Henson Studios does such wonderful work. The Santa, the first Santa Claus and Prancer, which I'm actually kind of surprised no one else. Okay.
That's a good one, actually. I didn't think about that one. That's good.
That one escapes a lot of attention. Prancer is definitely up there, and it's I just love the whole idea of like there's just this one girl, she's helping a deer, and she's convinced that it's Prancer, and Christmas Eve she it's like she gets vindication, but the whole time stuff just keeps going. She just keeps trying to help this deer that she's convinced is Prancer, and trying to keep him healthy until Christmas, and trying to help him because he had a wound on his leg. I guess a hunter shot him or something, and everybody's just like, what? It's like, it's just a deer. It's like, it's Prancer. And finally, it's just like he gets like put in a cage on display in like a park, and she's trying to free him, but they can't take down like the walls of the cage. But she's like, he's Santa's reindeer, so he can fly. So she takes the roof on. She takes the roof of the cage off because it was weaker, and and he's like pawing on the sides and everything, but he doesn't get out that way. He manages to actually kick the door down, but she falls off the roof and she hurts herself. So it's like the one point where like her belief is shaken. It's just like, it's not him, and it's just like, no, actually I think it. Her dad's just kind of like, you know what? I think you were right before. I think it is him. It's just like, oh no. So yeah, they let him loose. He's better, and they free him, and it's just like, and it looks for all the world like he ran and jumped off a cliff, and she's like, it wasn't him, was it, Daddy? He's like, listen, do you hear his bells? And you actually do hear bells, and then you just see this deer flying off to Santa's sleigh and joining the rest of the team. And it's just like, oh,
awesome. Oh, great list. Okay. I'm with Xanta. I have 11. as well, just because I couldn't go without it. So number 11, Die Hard 2. It's a Christmas film. It's a great film. I love it. Then we have at number 10, we have Santa Claus the movie, the one with Dudley Moore. Number 9, I have The Snowman. Again, a classic. Had to be in there. Number 8, I have Bad Santa, which is a fantastic film.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's dark as hell. I just remember being absolute hysterics watching it in the cinema, and it was a shame because like John Crye's performance got, not John Cryer, oh God,
John Ritter?
the guy who
Billy Bob
died.
Thornton.
John
Huh?
Ritter? John Ritter?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, he
John
got
Ritter.
John Ritter got such a high praise for his performance, and that was a kind of film that was looking to like reignite his career, and sadly he died shortly afterwards. But it was fantastic in that. Yeah, Bad Santa, brilliant film. What was that one? That was number 8. Or was that 7? That was 8. Number 7, I have Trading Places. It is a Christmas film, no doubt about it. Xanta's description was spot on. Number 6, Home Alone. You know, it's a staple, no matter what you say. It's again, it's one of those films that you just laugh in circles, still funny to this day. And there are more layers to it. And the fact that the script is brilliant. Like it's a very clever script as well. Like all the little things. And Macaulay Culkin for child actor, phenomenal, blows it out of the park. Yeah, absolutely love that film. Number 5, Gremlins, of course, has to be. Again, fantastic film. I preferred the sequel personally, but I still love the first one. And the reason the sequel was so batshit crazy is because the director didn't want to make a sequel. But the studio were like, no, you have to make a sequel. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to do whatever I want with it. And so that's why it was crazy. He wanted to push the studio to the limits, but they were just greenlighting everything because they were desperate. But they never got a third one. I don't know why. For some reason, the director seems to have rights to the film. But yeah. Number 4, we have Mickey's Christmas Carol. Again, dark, wonderful animation. Just excellent. Number 3, we have Batman Returns. Don't need to go into it. Number 2, we have Die Hard with a Die Hard, not Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard. Which, there you go. Yippee ki yay, mother lover. And number 1, we have one of the most beautiful animations ever made, Klaus, which is on Netflix. If you've never seen it, go watch it. It is phenomenal. It takes place in like 18th or 19th century Norway. And, you know, kind of there's a town that's split. They're like mortal enemies. And then there's a postman that's kind of hired to kind of work the town. And he just works towards getting Santa back and bringing the town back together. And it's very touching film. And I can't recommend it high enough. It's now like staple viewing in our household. Every year, Christmas, I'll put it on. And that's it. Shredder has joined us all on this stream. It's an editing miracle. Next,
Okay.
so William, let's have your top 10 favorite Christmas films.
Well, first of all, I need to go with a caveat, which is that, in my opinion, if the movie is set at Christmas, it counts as a Christmas movie. So with that being said, number 10 on my list is an all-time classic buddy cop movie, Lethal Weapon.
Yep, that's a Christmas film. Don't care.
Number 9, a movie that was actually for the longest time the standard bearer for superhero movies. I'm going with Batman Returns.
Absolutely, it's a Christmas film. So yeah.
Number 8. We're going into the realm of animation this time, and potentially one of the greatest pieces of stop motion animation of all time. It's Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 7, we're going into the realms of another great comedy duo movie, and we're going with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. Number 6, another comedy movie, we're going with Bad Santa. Number 5, this may be controversial because of how low it is on the list. For me, this would be number 5 on my list of great Christmas movies, Die Hard.
That is very low. You should be castrated for that, but because it's Christmas, we'll let you be.
Number 4, we're going with Bill Murray and Scrooged. Number 3, a great all-time family classic, The Muppets Christmas Carol. Number 2, my top 10 favorite Christmas movies of all time, we're going for a little bit of horror now. And this time we're going with Gremlins.
Oh, of course. Has to be. Yeah.
Number 1, and this is probably not number 1 on anyone else's list, but it is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. A great comedy. It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I would. No, it's not even in my top 10, but I could see why a lot of people like that film. Yeah, interesting. That's a good choice. A lot of similarities with everyone else, including myself. All right, that was William's top 10 favorite films. Thank you very much, William. That's everyone's top 10, top 11, top whatever Christmas films. I've got to say, you guys absolutely knocked it out the park with your lists on both sides. And anyone watching this video, please give us your top 10 or top however many Christmas films, as well as your TV shows. And on that note, I want to thank my hosts for joining me and giving us their awesome lists. For a few, it was very last minute, but you know what? They knocked it out the park. And have yourself a merry little Halloween. Oops. And on that note, we'll see you later. Bye.
I scrambled out my list
Merry
while you guys were
Christmas.
talking.